สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Thai Veggie. I'm B. I'm just about to make lunch. This is a noodle dish that has gravy on top, and you might already have guessed that it was Ratna. Ratna is the second well-known noodle dish after Pad Thai, I think. Let's take a look at our ingredients. I'm using this kind of noodles, brown rice noodle pasta. I found this from the gluten-free section in the grocery store, and the ingredients are very simple: brown rice flour and water and brown rice flour. And the way you cook these noodles, you just cook it the same as spaghetti, pasta, and it's very easy. Put in a boiled water and it's ready to go. I'm also using 5 cloves of garlic. I'm going to crush it with my mortar and pestle. Next ingredient, half a cup sweet onion. Slice it thin. And I'm using half a cup of carrot. Just like this, very thin, like this at the angle. That will add a nice shape to our Rad Na. Next ingredient, half a cup sweet pepper. I just chop 2 small little pieces like this. And that is our sweet pepper. And I have here a nice cup of soy cabbage. What I do with my cabbage, I just tear 2 small pieces like this. And here you have 1 cup of soy cabbage. And I'm also using 1 cup of mushrooms. I'm just slice it 2 small thin pieces like this. I'm using cremini mushroom. And once again, any other kind of mushrooms will work real fine with this dish. Using about 1 cup of kale. Tear 2 small pieces like this. And I'm also have here about half a cup of kale stem. I find this really give a nice crunchy taste to the dish. I'm using half a block of firm tofu. What I do with my tofu, cut it to small pieces like this. There goes our tofu. While I'm preparing my vegetables, I'm going to turn on my heat from my noodles here. I have here arrowroot powder. I'm using this to thicken my gravy. Arrowroot had been used for a long time and it's grown in the tropic. I found this from our local co-op. What we are going to do is I'm going to add the powder with water here. I have about half a cup of water. We will also use about 2 teaspoons of miso to thicken up our gravy. And we will need olive oil right here, soy sauce, and black pepper, and fresh squeezed lime juice of half of a lime. Also use 2 cups of vegetable stock, and I have a video about it, so you can check it out in our website. Alright, now we have all ingredients. Let's go and cook our Ratna. my water comes to a boil now, I'm gonna add my noodles. What I'm going to use it, I'm using a half of a bag here. The noodles will seem hard at first, but just use a spoon to help it and stir it so it's easily cooking. I'm just gonna let it cook for a little while. While we're waiting for our noodles to be cooked, we are going to prepare our gravy. I'm using a big wok here and turn my heat up too high. Gonna add oil. Once the oil is hot, we're gonna add our garlic. Cook our garlic. And I'm going to add my onion in it. Alright, and here's our onion. And we will follow with our sweet pepper. Mushroom. Alright, and I'm going to add our kale stem. Okay, and now I'm going to follow with carrot. And our cabbage, soy cabbage. Simply just mix everything in there. What we are do is it's gonna mix everything here. And last is our kale. My vegetables cooking, I'm gonna check my noodles. My noodles is really thickened, so I'm gonna add more water into my noodles. Okay, and I'm just gonna let it cook for a little bit longer. Let's go back to our vegetable here. Okay. Once my vegetables are wilted, I'm gonna turn off my heat. That smells really good. Okay, and that's our vegetable here. I'm just gonna let it sit here for a little bit until we need it. Alright, now I'm just gonna check my noodles. We're gonna saute these noodles in a little bit. I just checked my noodles and it's perfect. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna drain up my noodles. Slowly and gently. It's really hot here. And I'm going to give it a rinse with some cold water. I'm just gonna give it a little rinse here. And here is the noodles that I just pulled out from our pot. You can see it's separate nicely here and it's still very firm. The same pan, I'm going to turn on my heat up to high and add more oil. We are going to cook our tofu. And we are going to add our garlic into it. This is the garlic that I use half of it, and I just leave half for the tofu. And once the oil is hot, I'm going to add my garlic. Alright, it's ready. Add our tofu. Once again, keep it stirring. Just gonna add a dash of soy sauce. Add a bit of black pepper over it. That is our tofu. I'm gonna turn up the same pan and put my oil in. I'll use about 2 tablespoons. Once the oil is hot, we're gonna add our noodles in here. Just to kind of separate the noodles. And give it a stir. If you feel like the noodles get stick down the bottom, add a little bit of oil in it. That would help. And keep your heat quite low, about medium. This looks good. And adding liquid into it, it's a good idea. I'm gonna add just a dash of soy sauce into my noodles. Okay. The noodles now get crispy a little, and that's what we are looking for. Kind of separate the noodles a bit. And here, I'm going to turn down my heat. And here we have our noodles. Nice and crunchy on the outside and still soft in the middle. And that was our noodles. This video turned out to be quite a long one, so we will come back next week for our gravy. Thank you for watching. If you like what we are doing, please subscribe and like our page so that we can keep make more delicious recipes like this in the future. Eat healthy, be happy. สวัสดีค่ะ